Well, a very sunny afternoon here. This is Justin G8YTZ, and I thought I'd do a little video quickly, just showing some of the integration features that you get with a Tesla and the SuperCharger and destination charging network, which you don't get with other electric vehicles. And I'll demonstrate just a few highlights on this. Firstly, let's talk about the charger. There's one thing to note about every Tesla car, and they all have the charge point on the rear left-hand side. That's the passenger side in the UK, and in right-hand drive markets, that's the driver's side, of course. But the Tesla charge port is always in the same place. The other thing about when you go to a supercharger, now actually I've got a third-party lead here, but when you go to a supercharger, you actually get a button on the supercharger, or indeed the destination charger. You press that button and that opens the charge port, so you can plug in, and that's a pretty straightforward operation. Now, just to show you on the other car, this is a 2021, in the last century there for a second, 2021 Model 3, and again the Model 3 has the charge port in exactly the same place. Now, on the Model 3, you'll notice there's a CCS connector, and I'll explain that on the Model S as well. Okay, so let's come back and unplug the charge port on the Model S. I'll just hang that on my post here and talk a little bit about this connector. It's obviously a Type 2, and it's also a DC connector, but you can also use CCS and Chademo, and I'll explain how that's done. So on the Model S, and a Model S of any age, you can upgrade the charging to include CCS. You get an adapter, and there's actually a new electronic module that goes in the car, and for that, to keep your car current, Tesla charge £280. Newer Tesla cars have this, of course, already built in, but mine being January 2016 didn't have this, and therefore couldn't charge with CCS until I had the upgrade done. Nevertheless, it means I can use any third-party charger, but it gets even better. This is how it gets better. This is actually a Chademo adapter, so I can plug a Chademo charger into here, and that adapts to the port on here, and this will run up to about 50 kilowatts or so. The CCS adapter goes to the full capacity of this car, which is actually 120, but I think the CCS adapter goes to 150. Nevertheless, you'll notice the magic Tesla button, which enables you to release the adapter when you've actually finished, and of course you can shut the charge port door. On newer cars, that's an automatic function. On this older car, you had to manually close the charge port. So in summary, a Tesla Model S like mine has the capability of charging with a Tesla supercharger, a CCS, which includes Tesla V3 supercharger, and also with Type 2 and Chademo. So I've really got all the standards in this car, so there's nothing I can't plug into. In fact, the granny adapter on these cars is actually a three-phase adapter, and that also has a three-phase red plug for sort of air conditioner type plugs, etc. And also a blue plug, which is a single-phase version. These are the sort of plugs that you see on building sites, etc. The name escapes me, to excuse me. Anyway, but really you can charge anywhere with this car. That's the great thing about it. There's also a number of adapters available for charging in France with Schuko plugs, the French one, and the rest of Europe, and the Italian plug, and everything else. So you're really never ever going to be short. You just buy or borrow the accessory that you need for charging in form of a little adapter. I charge. I've got a Rolex post because I have Powerwall and solar panels. The Powerwall takes care of all the energy import-export. I don't need any smart chargers, and in fact it's undesirable to have a smart charger. And we also have two of the, I'll just show you, actually walk around, have two of the ChargeMaster, BP ChargeMaster type chargers as well. This one on the outside of the house in black, so it doesn't go yellow. Of course, white's not a good colour to have in sunlight, white plastic, so it's a black one. That's 7 kilowatt single phase, and I have another white one which is a non-tethered one. It's got a socket on it rather than the cable inside the garage for charging in there. Really for outside, probably the most convenient charger is a tethered type. For the post it's not really applicable, so what I've done there is had that short cable made, which means it doesn't dangle on the ground, and it's also got the Tesla specific connector on it, and I bought that from EV Charge King in Germany. But it's a great product if you've got a Tesla. Well, this is where it gets really interesting, because the whole point about the Tesla navigation system is it uses open source software. There's an onboard navigator which displays in the instrument binnacle in the case of the Model S, and there's also Google Maps integration, so you can ask Google to drive to somewhere. I mean, let's think. Drive to Schwalbach, Germany. So it's picked that up straight away, and they're going to hit the go button on here. And what the navigator is going to do now is calculate that route. And I remember Schwalbach, because I used to go there. And the great thing, you can see what it's done instantly. Firstly, it's warned me that the route requires a CCS adapter to supercharge. What that means is that there are V3 only superchargers, only with a CCS connector en route. This car, of course, has that. It's just really reminding you to make sure you take your CCS adapter with you. So it's currently we're at 51%, and our first charging stop will be at the Folkestone UK terminal, France bound only, and that's within the Le Shuttle. Then it's asking us to stop there for 30 minutes, which would be kind of while you have a coffee waiting for the train. Then it's saying in Lille we want a 25-minute charge, in Belgium 30-minute charge, another 1 hour and 10-minute charge, so that's obviously quite a long leg of that one, and then finally in Germany a 45-minute charge. And if I hit the begin trip button, you can see the trip actually outlined here, and we can hit the begin trip button, and off we go. That's our first leg down to Folkestone. Now if you tap on a supercharger and have a look at it, it tells us everything we need to know. It says there's 8 stalls, okay, and it says 8 stalls available, so no one's using that supercharger right now. No one's going to France right now. I suppose that makes sense. Telling you how far it is, and it's telling you all the facilities as well. So if I click on, say, a knife and fork there, it will tell me, you know, there's a Lyon there, for example, and you know. But if we weren't actually routing, it would actually give us all the options for food, or maybe that's the only option right now. There's coffee shops. Let's see what that says. Oh, here we are. There's 3 coffee shops there at that location, and this is all time related as well, so it won't show these coffee shops if it's closed at the time, so it's real time, as is the information you get from superchargers. Now if I cancel this navigation and just cancel the whole thing out here, and I zoom out, let's just a little zoom out, let's look at the superchargers as we hit the charge button here, showing us where the nearest chargers are. So the nearest one here is a destination charger, and I can select, I can filter in terms of the rate of charge as well. So if I want the superchargers, I'll probably just go for all 3. But anyway, chapter 1 is showing me there's a 6 kilowatt single phase. I happen to note that. The Clarendon Hotel in Blackheath, that's a charger which has a bit more capacity. It's just saying there the address. It's showing that there's food, there's bed, there's Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi available, etc., etc., and that location. Now, if I hit the charger button, this will actually show us all the superchargers. If I zoom out, it'll start showing us. Let's go and investigate a supercharger. Let's look at Maidstone, for example, and it's showing there are 6 stalls, and it's a short wait. In other words, it's actually showing there's 1 available right now, but it's just showing there's a short wait at that supercharger. So you know that may be. Now let's look at one which I happen to know is offline. It's showing here. It's at the O2, the hotel there. If we hit that, we can see it's a temporary closure, and there's a parking fee, and you've got to show the key at reception, etc. So that's part of the integration. If we look at Canary Wharf, there's 4 there, and there are 4 stalls available. and there are 12 stores in total. So that basically means that there's 8 stalls in use right now at Canary Wharf. And probably a similar story. Let's look at, let's go out to the city airport. Let's go out to somewhere like Blue Water, shall we? There's Blue Water, and hit the button there, and we can see there's 15 stalls total. They can offer 130 kilowatts, and there are 12 stalls available, so only 3 are in use right now. And we can go further afield, actually. We can go out to, let's go and have a look and see what's going on in France. Now, interestingly, the chargers which are lit up in bright red are the ones which we're in range of getting. The ones here that we can't see so clearly are out of our driving range, which is why they're not showing up. There's one there, for example. Let's click on that, and we can see that's got 9 stalls available and supports up to 150 kilowatts. And if it was a charger that required a CCS adapter, it would tell me as well. So this is the level of integration you get with the charging network. I mean, you can see it's quite impressive. Here's all the local chargers, all the I wonder what W means there. Let's have a look on that. There we are, London Road, Halstead. So it's Tesla Dartford Body Shop. So there we go. That's means workshop, and X is meaning body shop, and Y I think that means service centre. Oh no, it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. This is the ABCDE showing you where each one is on the map. That's what that is. And interestingly, you see the Maidstone there. It's actually showing a little time clock now. So someone had probably just plugged in there, so it's showing a time clock. And it's probably going to 1 stall out of order. Oh, that was the issue there. Medium weight, 6 stalls, 1 stall out of order. So that's the situation there. So the integration is really, really tight. And as you can say, if I just drive to somewhere, I don't know, let's go to drive to Pompeii. Okay, let's go mad. Let's go to the south of Italy. I've done this trip as well, and there we are. It's 1,000 miles, 1,056 miles, and it's working out our route. And there we go. We've got all the chargers that we need. And I happen to know at Pompeii there's a destination charger as well. But that's the integration you get with Tesla. I should say, I should say that the other thing, when it's calculating the route, it's actually taking into account the weather conditions en route. So the wind direction, the elevation, if you're going uphill or downhill, and even whether it's raining or not. So to actually work it, and the ambient temperature. So it's actually working out your route according to the consumption you can expect on that route. So it's really, really impressive the way it does that. Now, what was the other thing I wanted to show? Let me just cancel out of that. You notice also there was an option there to remove the charging stops if I wanted to as well, so I could do that. What were the other things I wanted to talk about? Oh, I've forgotten now, never mind. But hopefully that gives you some idea of a level of integration. There's also integration with your calendar, actually. If you've got a calendar entry which is taking you somewhere, when you get into the car, it'll say, do you want to go to this place that you've got an appointment for? And it'll even alert you on the app, on your phone or your watch, to say, you better leave now because there's traffic en route. So it'll even say that it's traffic en route to where you're going, so you need to consider leaving a little bit earlier. So the integration is absolutely amazing, and effectively it completely removes any worry about how to get somewhere. I don't have to do any route planning. If I was going to the continent, all I'd have to do is book my ticket and make sure I got to the train on time. But the car will work it all out. I've never been to some of these places before, and off you go, and it routes you to the supercharger as you need it. And they're also, of course, your stops. The other, great advantage of this as well. I mean, if we go, if we go into another country, say into a certain area, then I can even start looking at the destination chargers in that area. And there we go. There's a destination charger popped up there. I saw. I think is that one. Yeah, so there's a destination charger, and that's a restaurant, for example, a restaurant de l'art, and you'll also find hotels and everything as well. Is one here, and there's a chateau. It's a French chateau. It's 2 connectors, 14 kilowatt. So what I tend to do when I'm thinking of my stops, I actually am going to book the hotels. I book hotels that have these destination chargers. They're free to use for Tesla owners. Now, the destination chargers, when you get to a destination charger, there'll be a red sign and there'll be a white sign. The red sign means Tesla vehicles only, and the charger will only work with a Tesla vehicle. The white sign will work for any electric vehicle, but the host premises has the right to charge you for using that charger. The contract with Tesla is basically Tesla give the chargers away for nothing. The host has to install them and provide free use to Tesla owners. And it's a way of sort of driving traffic to those premises. Tesla owners tend to be reasonably well off and spend lots of money. And you'll find also these chargers are always at very nice locations. Yeah, you won't find these chargers at 1-star hotels. They're all sort of nice 4 or 5-star type premises. So that's worth considering. But a Tesla can use any of the stalls, but a non-Tesla car with a Type 2 connector would only be able to use the white connectors, and they might have to pay for it. Not all the premises enforce that. The Tesla contract ensures that Tesla owners are never charged, but owners of other EVs would get charged. And this is another major benefit of the Tesla charging network. You really do not have any concerns or any worries wherever you're going to go with these cars. And you know, I've travelled all around Europe. There's a SuperCharger there. It's got the big flash. There we go. 4 stalls available. 6 stalls, 150 kilowatt. That one. You know. So, and there's some follow signs to a shop with Petit Lodge. You know. So there's all that information. Let's see what the coffee situation is there as well. And look up the information, and there's an Auto Grill and Foodissimo and a Burger King, for example. They all serve coffee, and probably, in fact, there we go. It's zoomed in, and we can see the motorway service area that particular charger is on. Anyway, quick overview of why the Tesla integration is so important. How it takes away any worry you might have about charging and being stranded. If a charger goes offline, then the system will route you to an alternative, and that is so important. I often think if the internal combustion engine manufacturers had been as innovative with their cars as Tesla's been, you would have had a situation where it would have routed you to the cheapest petrol station and things like this, or also bid for the best price for petrol en route. You know, you can just see that. And but there we go. You know, Tesla's brought this at long last, and I think a quick explanation of why it's so good. Just one thing: Tesla opening its SuperCharger network up. Yes, they might be, but you're not going to have this level of integration. The chances are your car may not even have a CCS port, which will make it useless for a SuperCharger, and it might be that the CCS port is on the wrong side of the car, again potentially making it useless for a SuperCharger. So I can see a situation where we have cars that become obsolete before their time, simply because the charge port's in the wrong place to use a SuperCharger, and those cars will probably not be so popular in the second-hand market. I can just see it all coming to that. Anyway, all the best for now. I hope that's a useful little video. This is Justin, G8YTZ, off and clear.